Talk 1600. You're catching the drift. Conservative talk. Intelligent conversations on local, state, and national issues with Gary Wellings, chief editor of the Current newspaper and Current Online. Join in the conversation at 734-822-1600. And now, your host, Gary Wellings.
And good Saturday afternoon. Thanks for tuning in to catch our drift. Join me in studio, Ipsy Ed Bonderenka.
I have to have a microphone in front of me to be heard, right?
Yeah, you're sitting there scratching your head. And you're like, oh,
what am I forgetting? What am I forgetting? Hi.
Yeah, it doesn't work without the microphone.
Yeah.
Right? That's the way it is. Well, welcome to The Drift. And what we do every Saturday on The Drift is go over the news that I put on thedailydrift.com. And if you're not going there, you should. It's
the news you need to know.
Thank you. And, news from around the world, across the nation, and even sometimes right here locally, if it's interesting. And it's the kind of information you won't get from the mainstream media, the fake stream media, as I like to say. So,
or Buzzfeed.
Yeah, well, let's take care of a little business real quick here. If you're having hearing issues, as I do.
What?
And you,
what?
Obviously, yes. The Hearing Clinic with Dr. Amy Arnold is the place for you to go. They do some hearing tests and get you hooked up with the appropriate gear for you to have better hearing as you get older, like us, right?
Hey, take your wife. You can prove it's her, not you.
Dr. Amy's got two offices. There's one in Brighton, 810-220-2206. And I'm looking at, is that 2206? You need to have her increase. It's 5. And then
and next week we do the optical clinic.
Yes. Ed, come on. You've got to have her. Tell Kimmy to make sure she increases the font size on this, all right?
Oh, great. Well, we don't send this audio clip to Dr. Amy now, do we?
We're giving her time.
It's not like the time we left a digit off the phone number and you were not hers, but somebody else's, and you read it online and wait a minute.
You might want to not mention it. Anyway, 248-881-3026. Gee, ripes, am I getting bad with my eyesight? All right, get a hearing evaluation. Get your hearing done. Yeah, that's small, dude. That's all I'm making.
810-225-2205 or 248-881-3026. Would you like me to read the bottom line?
You know what?
Printed in, okay.
Yeah, there's no fine print in there. That's just, that's the way to go. Well, anyways, lots going on today, and you just updated me because I was kind of waiting to see.
Got to wait another hour.
We got to wait another hour. The president is going to have a special announcement. Was it 3, now at?
4.
4. So that's fresh from Ed, who's been watching the news.
Listening to Wham.
Listening to... Are you saying I don't listen to the radio?
You missed that. You were busy getting your car out of the driveway.
Right. Well, if you want to call into the show today, we want to get your opinions on the fake news and everything else that's going on across the country today. And we're going to start out with talking about Buzzfeed.
Fake news.
As fake as fake can get. It doesn't get any worse, right? I'm just going to go ahead and call it journalism. I thought about this earlier in the week. What do they call it? The fifth columnists, the yellow journalists.
Yeah.
These people are literally enemies of America. People got down on the president for saying they're the enemies of the people. The media, the mainstream media, is the enemy of the United States of America and the people who vote and pay taxes here. They are doing whatever they can to get us into this globalist, elitist club. Socialism.
Which is communist.
And screw all of us as Americans.
Take away your rights.
Yeah, they're not after Trump. They're after you and I. Mm-hmm. That's what
Trump's
it comes down to.
Trump's just in the way.
Trump is just standing in the way. And that's... Folks, you need to open your eyes. You need to start thinking properly because you put the House back in the hands of the Democrats by either staying home or voting
Adam Schiff,
wrongly.
A subcommittee chairman of intelligence.
Right? Mr. Schiffhole himself, that guy, Schiffhole. That's why I call him. That's my favorite hashtag.
Shiftless.
Shiftless, yes. That guy is just something else, isn't it? Well, even it's so bad that even that liberal guy, Chris Hahn, on Tucker last night.
Yeah.
Said,
that was
this is kind of embarrassing, right?
Yeah.
And then Jeffrey Toobin. You know who Jeffrey Toobin is? Now, who's on CNN, along with Brian Stelter, who is the biggest scumbag on the planet.
That's the bald guy, right? Short, fat, bald guy.
Yeah, he looks like the guy from Seinfeld. He looks like
George
from Seinfeld.
My wife says that the other guy, and now I just lost my the guy from Tucker. He looks like Wallace of Wallace and Gromit fame. Chris Hahn, yeah.
Oh, Chris Hahn.
Yeah, Chris Hahn. He looks just like Wallace. Oh, is Wallace on?
Wallace and Gromit. All right, well, anyways, Jeffrey Toobin even admitted this. And Derek, you got that first track ready? All right, this is Jeffrey Toobin on CNN with Anderson Cooper and Brian Stelter. And go ahead and play it. And listen. You can listen to him and then, of course, the counter from Brian Stelter.
Preet's talking about the law enforcement side, but I mean they're not contradictory. But I just think this is a bad day for us. And you know, there's no. I mean, I don't know, Brian. You seem to disagree a little bit. But I just think, you know, it reinforces every bad stereotype about the news media.
It does reinforce bad stereotypes about the news media. I agree with you. I am desperate as a media reporter to always say to the audience, judge folks individually and judge brands individually. Don't fall for what these politicians out there want you to do. They want you to think we're all crooked. We're not. But BuzzFeed
and neither
now,
is BuzzFeed. I mean,
I'd say you are crooked,
the onus is on BuzzFeed. Right now, the onus is on
bad
BuzzFeed.
Day for BuzzFeed.
Ben Smith says he knows the identity of the two sources. Obviously, the reporters know the identity of the two sources. They're going to be going back to those two sources and hopefully to other sources to try to get to the bottom of this. Now it's a dispute. And I don't know how that dispute's going to be resolved. I'm not disagreeing with you. This will be used, obviously, against the media as a whole. But I hope that we can see past that and be smarter than that.
They just got caught.
The president doesn't guide everybody else to use it against the press.
I think that the president is very likely, if past his prelude, going to see this as evidence for his attacks on the media being justified. And I think that his supporters would say that that is understandable.
But then we need to keep reinforcing to the audience how much smoke there is.
But
there's a massive fire.
There's a massive fire. Really? You've had 2 years, Mr. Stelter. Where is the massive fire behind this alleged smoke you keep talking about?
I want to see BuzzFeed out the two sources that burned them. Whatever sources burned them, they ought to be burned. If they're anonymous and they really do exist and they gave false lead to a reporter, then that should have de facto have burned their anonymity. Let's expose them for the lying deep state. Can you imagine that? So Mueller comes out and he says, "Oh no, that's not true." Can you imagine the old espionage trick of where you tell somebody something to find out where the leak is? You tell 5 different facts to 5 different people, and the one that gets out in the news, you know who leaked it.
Right.
I wouldn't doubt that's what happened.
So, but it brings up a good point. Mueller, in 2 years, Mueller has never come out and said word boo.
Mm-hmm.
Why yesterday? What is it that's going on behind the scenes that Mueller – because I listen to Rush a lot too, and Rush said earlier in the week that Mueller has absolutely nothing, and they're all trying to find ways to walk it back a little bit so people aren't completely caught off guard that there really is nothing there. All the smoke is coming from fake news reports like this, Mr. Stelter. That's where the smoke you're talking about. There's no fire there. It's just you blowing out some CO2 smoke. It's a fog machine.
Unfortunately, the damage is being done by Mueller needs to come out and say there's nothing. He's embarrassed to come out and say there's nothing. Plus, they're getting a ton of money. He and his lawyers are getting a ton of money for doing this and expenses. You know, chasing down leads, they get to get their meals paid, their mileage, whatever they're doing. It's a good job. It's a good gig for 2 years for all these liberal Clinton supporting lawyers going after Trump. They found nothing. They can't justify. Can you imagine if you had a job and you said, I'd like to keep doing this. I'll show us what you've got. Well,
okay, well, then let me make the suggestion to Mr. Mueller. If you like that money, you and your cronies like that job, then take this investigation and start looking at where you should be, which is the Hillary Clinton investigation.
Clinton Incorporated.
You can roll that and do another 5 years worth of work, my friend.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Mueller,
they wouldn't survive.
Yeah, if you're out,
they'd all commit suicide. 2 double taps to the back of the head each. Yep.
They hit the Clinton crime syndicate, right? Yeah. And I've made that point before too, right? Is Mueller doing this because he has no choice? Is he so deep into this and so beholden to the Clintons that he's got no choice but to keep looking as long as he can until somebody throws him out and stops him?
Well, if you remember the way it went, Comey triggered this off. And he knew it was going to trigger this. When he got fired and he leaked what he leaked to his buddy and it got to the press, then he knew Mueller was going to get – somebody was going to get tapped for the job, and it was probably going to be somebody like Mueller. So Mueller gets the job and takes it and goes into it and thinks, oh, we'll find something. And then after a while, there's nothing. Well, there's got to be something. Oh, there's this Cohen guy. We'll go after him. Oh, this Manafort guy. We'll go after him. There's these other side players. In fact, we'll do whatever we can. And now he's like in a bind where there's nothing. And now he comes out and he says, you know what? There was no leak. Why? I think it's to exonerate himself, to all of a sudden start looking like an honorable man. Okay? Now he looks honorable. Oh, he's honest. Finds nothing.
Do you think he's now got pressure because of Barr coming in? We know Barr is going to be approved. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He is good. And
he's friends with Barr also. They're friends.
So do you think
they all know each other?
Do you think at this point Barr said, you've been on the wrong side of this. You need to square this up, and you need to start squaring it up now?
That could be.
And
you're going to go down in history as a real crumb.
Yeah, because you've done everything you've done. The writing is on the wall. The American people have had enough. You are not going to continue this deep state, satanic, globalist, whatever you want to call it. Put your tinfoil hat on. I don't care. I believe it's real. There's something nasty, globalist, and deep state going on here. Can't tell you what it all is. There's a million different conspiracies on it, but it's real. It's as real as you and I sitting here talking onto these microphones.
It's right in front of your face.
It's right there, folks, and you need to be aware of it. Do not close your eyes to this because our futures depend on it.
You need to read the drift. You need to read the Daily Drift, and you see this stuff. If you don't know where else to look for it, check out Theron's posts on Facebook. The stuff is there, folks.
You know what? Listening to this radio station, Wham Talk 1600 or whamradio.com, that's WAAMradio.com, it's worldwide on the web, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Get it, listen to it. It's Theron from 3 to 6. Gruber in the Mornings is a great show, 6 to 9 every morning, and then all of our great shows on the weekend. Dr. Janda on Sundays?
Dr. Janda on Sundays, yes.
You want to talk about getting deep in the weeds, man. Janda is the man. He is uncovering this global elite garbage like I've never seen before.
I'll believe Janda before I'll believe Alex Jones.
Oh, yeah.
In a heartbeat.
Absolutely, because Janda works, I think, on deeper facts, right? He does the homework himself.
Yeah.
It's not just...
It's not all self-promotion with him.
Yes, exactly right.
Do we have any phone calls?
No, we haven't.
Why don't we? Have we announced the phone number?
734-822-1600. You can call into the show if you want.
Or we'll just keep talking.
We've got a ton of talk. I wanted to, listener Joanne.
Never threatening people. Call in or we'll keep talking.
Listener Joanne just sent an email talking about Ruth Bader Ginsburg allegedly having pneumonia from her last. You know what? When you reach that age, stay out of the hospitals, folks, because you know what? You're going to get exposed at some point to a germ that you can't fight off.
Yep.
So allegedly, now there's other people. I'm on Twitter a lot. At Gary Daily Drift is my Twitter handle. But there are people out there saying if she's not dead, she's already comatose.
Weekend at Bernie's.
It's a weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah.
Exactly. She's had it, and she's going to stay there until she's in the box. And I don't doubt that for a minute.
There was something that came out overnight on Lucienne's blog, who's Jonah Goldberg's mom. She's had a very influential conservative blog for forever. And she posted that Ginsburg was retiring. And yet I can't see it anywhere else. So I don't know where she got it from.
If you're not showing up for work to listen and partake and be involved and give your 2 cents, at this point she's only hurting the liberals by not showing up, right?
Yep.
She should at least be there to speak her mind along with Kagan and Sotomayor to give the liberal side of these things. But she's incapable of going.
Yeah, I think you should do the job until you can no longer stay awake on the job. Oh.
She'd have been gone.
Okay. She should be gone.
I don't wish any ill luck to her.
No, not at all.
I really don't.
Just retire.
Just retire. Go enjoy what time you have left. Spend it with your family. You're a wonderful person, I'm sure,
But, well, let's not go that far. But
but stop
fighting
the inevitable.
Socialist.
Yeah, Amy Coney Barrett or whoever else. You know what?
Be still my beating heart.
There was another lady I'd put on the drift a week ago, I think, when her latest sickness just came out. And it was referring to how the libs will go after whoever the next person is, because they're going after a lady that was supposed to replace Kavanaugh and making her look bad now. And it's like, She's a conservative woman. How are you going